Hello everyone! Welcome back to Agrarians, guys! So I just opened a reward bag because I got that sewage quest turned in yet again. And I got a lot of fishing stuff. I even got an RF fishing rod. So that's kind of interesting. But I got more cows, so I think I'm going to put the cows in here and infect them with ancient spores when I'm able to. So I can get more mushroom stuff going. Do I have ancient spores in this chest here? I have lots of ancient spores here. Let's get these cows infected, shall we? There we go. All mushroom. That'll get me more mushroom soup going. Which I still haven't gotten finished, but now that I got more cows, it's probably gonna get done faster. And I'm gonna be taking these runes of sacrifice because why not? Right? Strong bones. It's about to finish as well. I'll get more hearts. I'll get a full heart. More reward bag. These repeatable quests are kind of overpowered, I guess. But anyway. So I've been doing good on keeping myself with a fair amount of power. I've gotten this working pretty well. It gives me 211 RF per tick, which is fairly good. But I think that I want to get a lot more power. But I learned something cool you can do with this. Let me just dump this fishing stuff in here because I don't need it. There we go. So, in the Big Reactors mod, there is a cyanite reprocessor. It requires reactor casing, some pistons, a steel ingot, and a yellorium fuel rod. Now, this is actually a pretty nifty device because it gives us a way of handling our cyanite. I wonder where you get plutonium from. But what it does is it takes cyanite and turns it into yellorium again at a 2-to-1 ratio. We're not going to do that quite yet, though, because we do need the cyanite for the project I want to work on. I need more chicken noodle soup. So, big reactors, on top of having the reactors, you can make a steam turbine, which generates a ridiculous amount of power based on how much steam is being produced. Oh, I had garden soup in here still. I might as well just finish that off, since I can't autocraft this yet. So, how are we going to go about setting this up then? You might be curious. Well, one of the first things that we're going to do is clear my throat. One of the first things we're going to do is actually start using this fluid storage. Now, in order to use the fluid storage for the big reactors, we're going to need to set up a lot of aqueous accumulators. I was setting up a furnace, a smeltery over here to do the... My brain stopped working. To do the endstone quest, but I was trying it out in Creative World and I couldn't quite figure out any way to automate this perfectly. So yeah, I'm gonna have to go a 1-to-1 ratio for generating endstone. Hopefully it's not gonna be too big of a quest. In fact, I can get it taken care of right now, really. We just go grab a ender pearl and pop that in. Yoink. Oh, and I've also been preparing for extra lava usage in the future by making lots of lava. I don't know what I'm going to use it for now that I'm not going to be pumping lava into a smeltery for a really big quest, but I'll find a use. Okay, pop you in there. I need to get a sandstone. I'm out of sand. There we go, sandstone, and just need to pop you in here. You'll get turned into endstone, then I can turn in the quest and get the next level going. So, we need a bunch of aqueous accumulators. Now we have a bunch of pneumatic servos already, which is good. The thing we're going to need most is this. Alright, that's 3, which is a good start. And I guess since I'm not going to use this for making that one quest anymore, I might as well just grab it all. And I'll use this space back here for the production of vast quantities of water. I think I was walking that narrow ledge without my jetpack turned on. Yep, I was. It's kind of a stupid thing to do. Alright, I should have a piece of endstone now. And look at strong bones. Fungus drippings, it'll take a while still. We have a greater reward bag and an epic reward bag. Got a lot more hearts. Got a full heart to eat. Num num hearts. Okay, greater reward bag first. Ooh! Ooh, this is actually kind of useful. Special bees. And the epic one gives us... That's fair enough. Dump them all in here. That was actually a pretty good batch of reward bags. I approve. I approve greatly. Okay, so fluid. And we're going to need some cables. And hopefully I have enough resources in here to actually get that working. Oh, and quest book. For the hoarding, turn in the endstone, claim the reward. 1,000. That's not too bad. That's only going to require 1,000 ender pearls, which I think I already have, so yeah, shouldn't be too bad. Alright, so what we're doing over here, I'm going to use the bone for this. Doesn't really matter what way we set these up, because it's just going to be like that. So we'll have one here, and one here. And that'll be enough. We should only need 6 of these aqueous accumulators. And that's exactly how much import buses we have, so that works out pretty well, honestly. Let's place these down just to get the import buses in place. Oops. Break you, break you. There. Okay, let's go grab some more iron. I'm going to have to actually start cycling my metal fluids again in order to actually get the iron. Look, I got eggs. Screw these eggs! I don't need them. There, let's just leave it. Okay, so while that's working, I'm going to... I need yellorium for 2 things right now. I need it to keep my power going, and I need it to build more reactor casing. Do we have yellorium dust? We do have some. I'll get thrown into the system eventually. Currently crafting 1 raw plastic. Why is it crafting a raw plastic? It must have bugged or something, because it didn't actually do that. Okay, so if I break through here, that's close to where it's at. Yeah, let's just go with the top one. Bring the cable over to connect. And there we go. Okay, so now we can start getting water. In fact, we probably already are starting to get some. Oops. Yep, small amount, just because the aqueous accumulators do collect water over time. You know, perhaps I should just take these aqueous accumulators as well, because they're not exactly filling a purpose over here. Let's do that. Grab some buckets. Start dumping them in like so. Okay, now that those are in place, all the water is removed. We just need 1 more aqueous accumulator and we have a pretty good setup. Now you can actually toggle the amount of liquid being moved by these, which is pretty useful. I'm going to set them all to 250 because we don't really need it any higher than 250 right now. It's going to get plenty of water moving as is. Besides, that's showing you how much millibuckets per second it is. 5,000 millibuckets per second, so 5 buckets every second, and it takes 30 energy per. We're currently using 7.7 megajoules per tick, so honestly not using too much. When we start crafting things, it takes a lot more, but all in all, it's pretty good. Now this fluid storage monitor I actually can use, and I created an infinite source of water out here, just so I have one somewhere around at least. If I do this, it'll show how much buckets of water we have. 275 buckets of water. That is quite a bit. Honestly, don't really need that much water. But I have it. And I have plenty of storage space for water. Okay, so now onto the reactor casing. We're going to need to make a bigger one. I do have yellorium dust in here. Why do I have dust in here? Oh, and I have the honey drops for that one quest. Let's turn that in quick. Bees and trees. Manual submit. Claim the reward. Get the extra bees. And a heart. And chow it down. There. That quest is out of the way. We don't have to worry about it anymore. So for this new reactor I'm making, it's going to require, let's see, if we go with the same corner here, it's going to be this far out, right here is where a rod would be, and right here another one. So that corner there, and this corner over here. Now, let's actually use these bones. So this is what I'm looking at for some of the dimensions. The other dimension is going to be like 4 high, maybe 5. And over here, I'm going to work on the turbine. So let me get together enough casing and glass and whatnot to put this together. Oh, and before I actually start doing that, the other part that we're going to have to use for this is a coolant port. Now this drastically changes the reactor. So let's see, reactor casing requires steel and graphite and yellorium. Did I have all that stuff in here? Why is it not searching? There we go. Yeah, I did have all that stuff in here. Alright, so I'm going to get some of this together. I obviously need a lot more steel put in here, which is a good thing that I've got my metal cycling. In fact, it might be done now with how long it's been. Yep, looks like it's done. No, it's actually not quite done yet. Or it might just be a little confused because there's bronze in there and it doesn't know where to put the bronze. Because they don't have a bronze thing yet, I believe. Alright, so let me get to work on getting everything together, and I will be right back. So, I have most of this casing complete, so I can kind of show you what exactly it is I'm doing here. This is the size the reactor is going to be. Right now I'm avoiding putting anything near this because if I put it near it, it's going to break the reactor and it's not going to power anything. But we do need to tear it down pretty soon here. For now, it can stay. And for some reason, NEI is being very laggy with this right now. It takes like 10-15 seconds before it actually shows the thing I'm trying to work on. Which is kind of strange. I wonder if it's because I have a bunch of fluid pumping into the system and it's taking its time. Okay, so I need reactor glass, which requires hardened glass, which is lead and pulverized obsidian. I'm going to need a lot of that. I don't have much obsidian. So I think that's what I'm going to end up doing with my lava production right now is turn it towards producing obsidian. Now the problem with that is that my lava production is all the way over there, and my water production is all the way over here. Kind of poorly planned placement of these liquid productions. But for now I think it'll be fine. Let's just pulverize all of my obsidian. I think you get 4 per? Yeah, 4 per. Now, I'm going to need my induction smelter. Which I will just slap straight onto here. Got 5 lead in here. Some obsidian. This isn't going to be enough to complete the reactor, but it's a fair amount. Sad thing is we're only going to be getting 1 glass for each one of these, so I'm kind of second guessing whether I should even do this. I do want to have more hardened glass, but maybe I should just go ahead and not put hardened glass on the back here. Especially since I'm going to need a lot of hardened glass for the next part, for the turbine. So let's skip the hardened glass on this part, or the reactor glass, excuse me. I'll put it on the front so I have some sort of vision for inside. Not that it makes too much difference with what I'm doing, but yeah, this will do for now. We're actually draining energy. Strange. What are we doing that's actually using up so much energy? I wonder if it's those fluids. That's the only thing that's really changed. Let me turn those down. No, still losing energy. Well, that's a shame. Well, I guess if I'm going to be losing energy anyway... I don't want to damage my reactor right now. Because I do want that energy, but... Oh, it's offline. Why is it offline? That was weird. Why were you offline? That's why I was losing energy. Weird. I didn't put anything near you that would actually make you stop working. Did I? No, I couldn't have. Maybe I'm just going crazy. Okay then. So, I don't quite have the materials to actually make this work quite yet. I do, however, have a pretty good reactor setup here going. And one of the things that we need to do to make this work is grab some ender pearls. I think I have way more than enough. I'll just toss the rest in here, and we'll be going one stack at a time. This bucket, I need to dump it out. Actually, I can just get a couple more buckets too. So, I think we can safely turn off this reactor now and start recycling it. Eject the fuel. And start tearing it down. Well, this back part doesn't really need to be torn down, but I do need to get underneath it. Okay, put the back in place. Get rid of this stuff because it's in the way. It doesn't need to be inside. Okay. Let's fly out of here. And access port and controller. Access port can get put right here. Controller can get put over here. Now it's time for those buckets. It's going to take a small amount of ender pearls. See, each stack is enough to give me 4 buckets worth, which is not too shabby. What we're doing is we're heading inside. And we're putting in liquid ender. I'm going to turn on my magnet. Another stack. Let's see, we need the fuel rod put in right here. Oh! There we go. That's much better. Reactor rod controller. And I'm collecting ores again. There. Okay. So put that one there, this one here, and I have an extra one, but that's okay because it's not where I wanted to put it. There. And now we have a much bigger reactor. And to plop the yellorium back in here, it's going to take a lot more yellorium to actually have this thing run. Unfortunately, I don't really have very much yellorium. I used a lot of it, just making this monstrosity of a reactor. But if I turn it on, I'm only at 56% full, geez. If I turn it on, I'm producing a lot of power. 2,200 per tick. And the fuel reactivity is 323%, so it actually takes longer for it to go through its fuel, which is pretty cool. In fact, I might not need any more than this for my power situation. I'm already producing more energy than this thing can currently input. And that's when it's at 56% capacity. Of course, I'm going to need to get a lot more yellorium, but that's partly what I have this set up for. Because now I can go ahead and work on getting that laser in place without worrying too much about my power situation. I just need to get a tesseract made, and, well, actually 2 tesseracts, and things will go pretty well. Because yellorium dust, I can get it from yellorite ore, or nether uranium. Yeah, just those two. Or I can induction smelt sulfur and pulverized tin. I don't remember that being in here before, but it's a thing apparently. But sulfur, of course, is difficult to get. There's also sieving sand. And sulfur, of course, you can get only as a byproduct of grinding these certain things, or as a product of getting sulfur ore, which I don't really have the capability of acquiring. Well, technically I do. I do have a cobalt hammer, which has manual and mining level, but let's worry about that later. I want to get the laser drilled. Let's see, how was my record time? I've actually recorded enough for a full episode, so I'm going to cut off here, look at getting the materials required for making the laser drill, and then we'll go about setting that up. So, I hope you guys are enjoying this series. Do not forget to like, subscribe, and fave. I will see you in the next episode, whenever that may be. Take care, guys, and ta-ta. I said ta-ta.